First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Radash, and double honor to the apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, to include the elder bishops on down as well. And shalom to you Akim out there, the 144,000, as we are, that we hopefully believe that we are, And it's your brother Laban. And I just want to go over this real quick on some news in regards to the Trump administration, as this reads, to establish the National Guard's response, forced to be mobilized for mass civil unrest by April 2026. So I say, what's the reason for this? Right now, what you have is a bunch of so-called black women that's been on Section 8, ever since they've known about it, since their mothers, complaining about how he's going to put an end to it. And he hasn't even literally put an end to it as of yet. And a few women have already expressed what they would do. So you can already see that it's going to be all around chaos. And people are going to resort to stealing things from the store. And before you know it, once you have one set of people stealing, then you're going to have another set of people stealing. And it's just going to be an ongoing thing. And before you know it, crime is going to escalate through the roof. All right, I've watched brothers' videos on it. And that's what's going to be the case probably by next year, as it looks. Because DJ Trump made it very clear that he's going to bring an end to it right around November. So it looks to me that they're about to stage mass chaos. You have many excuses, such as the ICE protesting, as well as you have the No Kings protest. And then you have the EBT, government income support, that's going to be halted. So when you combine all of these reasons together, it's like, okay, well, yeah, we're looking at a chaotic scene probably by next year, but we'll have to wait and see. So let's get into a little of this article over here, right? As this reads, a new memo has been unearthed showing that the Trump administration is preparing to mobilize National Guard troops across the nation by the month of April 2026 to stop potential uprising amid nationwide No Kings protests and violent anti-ICE protests in cities like Chicago, Illinois, and Portland, and Oregon. This comes after the Trump administration won a lawsuit over the president's deployment of National Guard's troops in Portland to quell riots against immigration and customs enforcement. Trump has activated hundreds of California and Texas National Guard troops in Portland and Chicago, but was recently blocked by a Trump-appointed district court judge. As the Gateway Pundit reported on Monday, the Ninth Circuit allowed President Trump to deploy Oregon National Guard troops to Portland and said he lawfully exercised his statutory authority under 10 U.S.C. 124063, which authorized the federalization of the National Guard when the president is unable with the regular force to execute the laws of the U.S. In a separate case, Trump has asked the Supreme Court to intervene and allow National Guard troops to be deployed in Chicago. So that's pretty much the deal on that. And with or without, Congress's approval, the president does what he wills and what he wants to do, and especially if it involves prophecy. And this is what we're seeing. What we're seeing is the preparation of the evil day, which Esau is going to basically start by so many different various excuses and psyops to create that scenario. Proverbs 16 and verse 4, the Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So that's the reason why Esau is ruling the planet Earth, is to create all of these evils on the earth and to create a great deal of evil, which is going to change the world. All right. And then that same great evil, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to make his appearance. So to a degree, to a high degree, I would say we need this evil time to come. Oh, yes, indeed, we need it. And DJ Trump is doing a great job. He's that crew lord that's going to get the ball rolling on what we need. All right. Yeah, so just to keep it short, just for the sake of my time, DJ Trump, what he plans to do is he plans to bring these troops on every state nationwide, if possible. Before all of this being said, which we already knew that he was going to do something like that anyway. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're going to tell the poor of our people, primarily which makes up these single mothers that are raising these children that are depending on companies like Snap and just overall getting the teats, so to speak, as that's written in scripture. Let me see if I can read that real quick. That's where you get the word titties from the word teats is in verse 11. Tremble ye women that are at ease, and be troubled. Ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, and for the fruitful vine. So why does it read, tremble ye women that are at ease? Because Big Daddy government, through food stamps, EBT cards, whatever you want to call it. So now it's going to be a different attitude in the air. Instead of it being, oh yeah, well, I don't need a man and I can do battle all by myself. It's going to be, I need a man. And as well as I've watched certain videos of brothers, right? And some women, I think it's been about 2 women I watched. And there was one woman that said that pussy popping is going to be at an all-time high. Something along those lines she mentioned, right? Meaning they're going to give it up quick. That old profession is going to be back in a big way, because it's going to get so crazy and rowdy out here that these women, they're going to yearn for men, and they'll be willing to do anything that they got to do to get some kind of else of protection, because Big Daddy government ain't going to be doing it no more. And to top it off as well, the prices are just going to get higher and higher, because the dollar is pretty much become less and less devalued as the time progresses. And then that's what's going to cause inflation. That's why it's so expensive. So if you can't hack it because you don't have a job, or you just too lazy to get a job, then what the hell are these women going to do? That's got 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 children on these EBT cards. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do what they got to do. All right. So now it's going to go from what? Being careless to having to worry with a whole lot of anxiety, needing a man. And then if that's not the case, guess what? You got women that are single with no children. How are they going to act in a time of Jacob's trouble? They're going to need a man. Okay. So they're going to go from being careless to I don't need a man and whatever the shit they was talking about for all these years to a totally different attitude. And I mean, and this is the thing, it doesn't take much to bring things around to normal. It don't take much at all. Because when we go back to the 1960s, the late 1960s, which really, there's videos that I've seen, and it's as if they've been doing experiments on poor people. After the women's liberation movement came in, which again, I always bring this up. The women's liberation movement was to furtherly crush the poor, in a sense of taking the man out of the house. Once you've taken the fathers out of the house, now you have a poorer household. Now you have households that have to solely rely on something else. And the thing with so-called black women have been trained and conditioned for 60 years to believe that they can literally raise children by themselves. And this whole notion of feminism has really deluded our women forever. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, well, wait a minute. Once this is taken out of the equation, I'm talking about the teats here. Right? Matter of fact, let me look up the word teats. Let's look up the word teats here. Yeah, so where was I reading that, man? Yeah, they shall lament for the teats. Verse 12. So the word is shad, right? Which means exactly. That's exactly why I said it. It goes back to the word titties. Because what does a baby get out of the titty milk? Nourishment to build on this calcium intake, right? Because without the calcium, then the baby doesn't grow properly. So without the teats, how can they move forward in life and live carelessly? They couldn't. So once the government yields back on helping these people, now all of a sudden, they're either going to resort to prostitution or they're going to have to come begging for a man. Any man that approaches them at this point, they're going to have to just take that guy. And it's not going to be a matter of what he looks like or anything of that nature. Listen, it's going to be a matter, I need emotional support. I need emotional, financial, economical support. That's what it's going to be about. All right? And these women, they're going to get right real quick. It's not going to take a long duration of time. It's not going to be peeling a layer of an onion. It's just going to be quick. And it's starting to begin already. So now there's no room or space for playing these games and, spreading their legs across from man to man to man and going to these clubs and acting the goddamn fool and playing on men. Them days are going to stop. It's going to be the time to get real. All right. So what I want to do is I want to continue on where I left off at. I want to go and read the next precept here. And it's Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So all of the prophecies that are alluding to the end, and to mainly include the returning of the Messiah, we ain't gonna have to wait too long for that. All of the prophecies that we're seeing come to pass is what was already said, which would come around before his return. So I wanted to read 2Esdras 15, but you know what? I'll read this first because this really hits home to what I'm saying here. In the book of 2Esdras 9, and where we want to read at, verse 1. And the point is in what? Verse 6, and then I'll go and read 2Esdras 15. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world, which he made. So let's read about it. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and guess what? All of this is happening at the same time in this generation. So what does that tell you in this generation? That the Lord is going to make a second return. Then shalt thou will understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. So that's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see the powerful ending and effects. It's just like, for example, when you watch a film, an action film, right? It gets more action. You get more action in the film at the end of the film. All right. Or even if it's not an action film, the storyline gets even more intriguing at the end of the film. So at the ending of this world, it's going to get real interesting. All right. We're going to see the pride of these people crumble to bits. This is what we're going to see. And in those days, guess what? The Lord is going to be exalted in those days, including his men. So now let's read on. This is 2Esdras 15. This is 2Esdras 15 and verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. So before we go forward, let me tie that in with Daniel's chapter 12 and verse 1. just real quick, and I'm going to bounce back to 2 Esdras 15. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So in these times, as well as I've mentioned, reading the book of Habakkuk, we're going to need, reading the book of Proverbs 16. We're going to need these evil times for the sake of our salvation. Now we're going to go back to verse 11 in 2 Esdras 15. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all of the land thereof. Really, what I should have done is read verse 10. Because you're going to have the ones of us that are going to be led into being persecuted, and if not killed, or should I say, if not better, killed for what we believe in. All right. So as this reads, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So you're going to have what? The deliverance which will be had. So somehow, some way in the evil day, Yahweh Shah is going to have to come back to deliver us. Because Esau is going to be looking to take a lot of souls as much as he can. Especially those that are opposed against him, which would be the servants, the prophets. All right. Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all of the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishments that the Most High shall bring upon it. And this Egypt isn't referring to ancient Egypt. This is referring to the Egypt which would come. And that would then be America, because America takes on the customs of, or should I say, the worship customs, the customs that they used during a time when you had the Mizraimites, I call them, or Montezarmites. There were certain gods that they were worshiping. And so these Chaldeans, these modern day Magi's and stuff, which really, just to make it all short, America encompasses all of these paganistic kingdoms which came before it. All right. And they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fall through the blasting in hell, and with a fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be seditions among men. And here's the point. This scripture has been coming out as of late. This is something that the elites want of the people. They want people to really be driven to go ape shit crazy so that they can come with these laws. And the law that they already have intact is what I should have said, is the fact that they already got laws passed so that they can set up the military, declare martial law against the American people. And when you declare martial law, now the military is at war against the American people, which is what it means. Martial means war, like law. All right. So that means then that means basically that the American people are no more than T's. And if you oppose against their will, then guess what? You are a T. And what do they do with T's? They get shot and killed. That's what they do with T's. Or they put them in concentration camps and they deal with you there. All right. So this is the reality that's being readied right now. All right. So if nothing happens this year, then we can certainly believe. And I'm not saying that as gospel truth that, oh yeah, well, the end is going to come in 26. I'm just saying, if nothing happens this year, because this year, later on to it, I would say it's gotten real dramatic. People are talking shit on TikTok about the economy, about their SNAP benefits and what have you, right? You got the ICE protesting going on, the No Kings protests going on. There's a whole lot of shit going on out here. All right. So 26 could be that year. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. Because my guess estimate is probably a year and a half. Probably maybe around 27. That's my guess estimate. But we'll have to wait and see. Because this world could come to his knees by this year. Or should I say better, on his back. Isaiah, yeah, I've read all of this already, so that's all I'm going to basically bring out for today on this right here. So I want to give all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, and double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught as well, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai brought the thumb. And that is it. Shalom.